Good. Hello, Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to the Central New York Hockey Report podcast right here on the Studio 25 Podcast Network. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and we have got a really fun show lined up for you today. Before I bring our guest in, now, of course, I want to bring in my faithful sidekick, producer, partner in crime sometimes, if you will.
You said that, and I didn't even turn my camera on because the last couple of shows you haven't done that. So
Well,
I wasn't even expecting it.
I'm always keeping you
I'm
off
here.
guard.
I'm here.
Dave
Yeah.
the Save Warner. That
All right.
voice you hear in the background, sort of like the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, I was going to say
It's going to be him. All right?
That would be me. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to bring our guest in. Our guest is a senior forward for the Oswego State Lakers men's hockey team, Mr. Daniel Colabufo. Daniel, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we appreciate you taking the time to come on. Of course, I'm obviously very busy during the season between hockey, school, and all that. But, your Lakers, tell you what, 12-7-3 overall, 8-3-1 in the SUNYAC. You're putting together a pretty good season up there.
Yeah, we are. It's been a good year. Coming into the season, we had 18 new players, 16 of which were freshmen. So it was a lot of fresh faces to start. But by this point of the year, we're not a young team anymore. We're trying to put some pieces together here and hopefully make a run.
Yeah, and let's talk about that too, because now that you're a senior, you're a part of the leadership group. Of course, you wear the A on your sweater as an alternate captain, and like you said, a lot of new faces coming in. But you seem to be able to mold that all together. So tell us a little bit about that process of integrating that many new players into the team.
Yeah, well, I mean, Matt McQuaid, he wears the C, and then Connor Gato wears the other A, and then the upperclassmen that we have, and then myself who wears the other A. I think coming into the year with that many new faces, there was an emphasis on trying to come together as quick as possible as we can as a group. So when we got here in August, there was a lot of team building. There was a lot of team activity, and it really did come together, I guess, not quicker than we anticipated, but you saw a lot of maybe individuals when we first got to campus really become a close-knit family. And I think that's also shown in our play on the ice as well.
For sure. And I'll tell you, the arena that you guys, the Deb, love it up there. What a great place that is. Tell us a little bit about the support that you guys get from the school and from the community up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest parts of being a SUNY Oswego hockey player and playing for this team is the community aspect and the support that we get from the community and from the fans. And we make an emphasis on, if you're going to play on this team, you have to be part of the community. So we do the community service, whatever that may be, helping out veterans, whether you're in the schools reading books or playing hockey there. And then they show us the support when they pack the Deb, and we have sold out home games. So it's a really special atmosphere, and it's kind of unlike a lot of college programs, I guess, on the road when we play games and maybe there aren't as many fans. But then when we come home, it's just a different atmosphere and it's a different feeling, and you really feel that support that you have behind you, and it makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah, and like the Lakers are, the kings and the queens, so to speak, of Oswego. I mean, you guys are the top dog there.
Yeah.
And you mentioned working with the veterans, and that's got to feel good for you guys working with not only the veterans, but also like youth hockey, because I mean, to the youth hockey players, I mean, you guys are rock stars.
Right. And I mean, it puts a lot of things into perspective. Like there's so much more to hockey. So when we're out in the community, like it gives you a different perspective on the whole experience. And then like just last weekend, we were in Buff State playing on the road, and behind our bench is an Oswego minor youth hockey team. And we got a bunch of fans behind the bench. So it's not even just our home games. Like they support us wherever we are. And we appreciate it. And I hope they appreciate it. So it's a really good thing that Oswego has done and that they've continued to build just this community aspect and family aspect of the town.
And that had to feel awesome being a few hours away from home in enemy territory, so to speak.
Right.
Having fans right there behind your bench. It had been great.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. I mean, starting lineups, you hear somebody's name called and then the crowd goes crazy. And it's like, well, we're on the road right now, but we have all these fans supporting us. And so we can't thank them enough. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys haven't putting it all together right at the right time too. As we're getting towards the end of the season, we're heading towards the SUNYAC tournament, NCAA's and all that. What are some of the things that the coaching staff is emphasizing on you guys as a team as you go through the season?
Yeah, I think as you go through the season, there's different aspects that you focus on at certain points of the season. It also depends on your opponent that upcoming weekend. But I think right now, going into the final stretch, we're focused on kind of playing more of a simple game. We want to put pressure on other teams' D. We want to, in the offensive zone, we want to play low. We want to grind D down, and then create offense through that. So we just want to kind of play a simple but effective game at the same time going into the final stretch.
And that's actually really important too, because as the games get closer to the postseason tournaments, of course, more pressure packed and all that, and keeping that game simple is really huge because that's actually a big recipe for success. Some people think, oh no, you got to have all these complex and complicated plays.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, the idea is to put the puck in the opponent's net and keep the puck out of yours.
Right, I couldn't agree more. And once you come playoffs, you're okay winning games 1-0. You're okay winning games 2-1. So there's a big emphasis right now on our defensive zone, cleaning up our D zone, cleaning up our exits. We don't really want to have any self-inflicted turnovers end up in the back of our nets. So the more we can limit that, play a simple game, and then once we get in the offensive zone, we have a lot of forwards and a lot of D that are very skilled. So I think those offensive plays will come naturally, and you let that ability take over. So hopefully we will get those goals. Right now, there's a big emphasis on D zone and just not giving up a lot of grade A opportunities.
And I got to tell you something, you actually sound like a TV hockey analyst. So I really could see that in your future.
I've been around the game long enough, and I've played for some very good coaches. So you pick up some things along the way.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit then. What a perfect segue. See, I told you, you're built for hockey. I'm telling you. You're built for TV.
It's like you got a new co-host there.
I know, right?
I'm out.
Wait, what are you doing next week?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Careful, Daniel. He'll suck you in.
Yeah, right. But you obviously you started off your hockey playing really at West Genesee High, who of course has a very famous coach there. Your dad, Frank Colabufo, who is, if anybody who knows anything about Central New York hockey, high school hockey, knows this guy. So you played there for 3 seasons. Tell us a little bit about playing for your dad.
Yeah, it was a very special experience for me and something that I will always cherish. But I mean, prior to high school, it started before that. I played Camillus youth hockey growing up right in my town. The rink's 2 minutes away, and my dad was my coach throughout my entire youth hockey career. And then moving up to high school, he was obviously my coach in high school, and I guess he's a very good hockey mind, but he has an ability to develop players in a way that we can win games, but also individually players will improve, and I think that shows in his impact in Camillus and what he's done with the youth hockey program, and then leading into high school, just the amount of success that he's had. He does things the right way. And he treats his players well, but he also expects a lot of them. So he's getting the most out of his players. And for me, as his son, like he pushed me really hard. But he knew when, like we always say, like at the rink, your coach, at home, your dad. And I guess at nighttime we'd be sitting there watching a hockey game, talking about hockey. But no, there's definitely a balance, and I learned so much from him, and I would not be the player or person I am today if it wasn't for him and what he's done for my career.
And that's really special too, just to have that kind of support system, which, most players are fortunate enough to have a good support system. And it sounds like you had one of the best, of course.
Yeah.
What were some of the things, like hockey philosophy, shall we say, that your dad imparted onto you?
I think for me, it's always been an emphasis, like, I guess, hockey wise. I have always prided myself on defense before offense. So just having that defensive mind when you're in those situations, and then the offense him and Bobby Chattel do Salt City Prospects, and that's all skill development. So he knows a lot about the skill side, but he also knows a lot about the system side. And so for me, just to take that all in from a young age, it's helped me so much to get to where I am today.
And that's an incredible program they do too. That Salt City Prospects is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, Bobby's done an unbelievable job with that, and he's a great hockey mind, and he's helped so many players locally and beyond get to the next level through his skill development, his camps, showcases. He's really truly done an awesome job with that and helped so many players get to the next level.
And with that, and obviously everything else is going on around Syracuse, I personally think that Syracuse is one of the great underrated hockey towns. Really,
Yeah.
Between you have the Crunch there, the Nats, obviously all the high school action that's going on there, Salt City Prospects. I truly don't think Syracuse gets enough credit for being a really great hockey town.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and going home in the summer when you have all those summer skates with the college players, and Bobby set up that college. It was a college showcase in the summer, so all the college players locally will come, and I think there's like 7 or 8 games throughout the summer. So, and then that's really when you see just the amount of talent that's in Syracuse, and then for you to be able to play against that all summer, it really prepares you for the season that's coming up.
Absolutely. And I know even like a couple of times, like Crunch players have participated too. Like I know Daniel Walcott is there quite a few times. And that's got to be one heck of an experience, especially if you're a college player stepping out on the ice with an AHL player like Daniel Walcott. I know if it was me personally, I'd be having like a Ralph Cramden while we're going hamina. But
you'd just be drinking a beer sitting on the side.
Pretty much, because I would more or less be a pile on. Yeah. That's about it. But
yeah, no, he was. I played one of those, and he was actually my line mate for one of them.
Really?
He's just the most humble guy, great guy. And like you're out there on a summer skate and then you get back to the bench and he's just giving you tips on what you could have done there, maybe different plays that you could make. So for those guys to play in that game and not just play in it, but also help the college kids around them, even though they're at a much higher level, it was really special. And we appreciate that. And I think that also shows the community in Syracuse and how they're willing to help each other out.
Yeah, he was actually on the show a couple of years ago, and you're right. What a humble guy, down to earth, and what he does for the Syracuse community is just outstanding, really. But back to you. So when you graduated from West Jenny, you played a couple of years at Northwood, and then you went to Holy Cross. Tell us a little bit about going from Holy Cross to Oswego.
Yeah, so I left West Jenny when I was in 10th grade.
Okay, good. Sorry.
No. But so then I went to Northwood Prep School my junior year. And going into my senior year, I committed to Holy Cross as an 18-year-old. And then went to junior in Maryland. And then about 3 months left in the season, the entire coaching staff got fired.
Oh.
So everybody that I committed to is no longer there. But I still wanted to go. I still like the school of hockey and the new coach. And then I got there and things were going well. And then I ended up getting hurt. I herniated a disc in my back in October. I didn't know it at the time. And then just as it progressed, I realized I might need to go somewhere else. And so when that happened, I knew Oswego was where I wanted to be. Growing up, I went to all the showcase camps and at Oswego when I was like 14, 15 years old. And I knew that coaching staff between Eddie, Whitey, and Bobby, that they were going to care about me as a player, but more as a person. And that was part of the environment that I wanted to be in because I felt like that's where I could grow the most. So I was actually supposed to come to Oswego at Christmas my freshman year, but instead I needed surgery and they were awesome. They were like, do what you need to do, get healthy, and then come the next year and we'll get ready to work. So I can't thank those guys enough for giving me an opportunity. And it really was like a new beginning for me. And it was the best decision I could have made.
Yeah, it's really, really shows in it, and that's obvious because like you said, the coaching staff up there is solid. Beyond solid. They're fantastic people, and they've just built such a high quality program up there that has just lasted throughout the years.
Yeah, they have, absolutely. It's truly remarkable what they've done, and for Eddie, for how long he's been here, he just hit 400 wins this season when we were up in Canton. So he's an outstanding coach, and he's an outstanding person. So for us to be able to learn from someone like that, and then you add Whitey, Bobby, Mike Gray, you add those guys to the mix, you're really getting the best of both worlds between becoming a better person and becoming a better hockey player.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, if after your hockey playing days are over, man, I'm telling you, TV analyst is in your future. It really is. I keep saying it. I can't help it. I keep going back to this in my mind. This is great.
No.
But just on the side here, a little bit of fun. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Mine was always been Sidney Crosby.
Good choice.
Yeah. Growing up, I was a center, so he was always the guy that I was looking to for tips, anything like that. And I tried to. I know you can only model your game after Sidney Crosby so much, but that's a two-way center. Like, that was the guy that I was looking at. Like, all right, if I can play this way, then I might have some success.
And he's a fantastic person off the ice too.
Right, and off the ice, yeah. And his leadership, I don't know him personally, obviously, but just like what it seems like he's done for that program, that organization, and then when he gets young guys that come to Pittsburgh, like, it seems like he's taking care of them and showing them the way. So I guess all of that combined, for me, he was kind of my guy.
Yeah, and like I said, great choice. So let's have a little bit of fun with your teammates right now.
Oh boy.
So I love to do this every show. I just love the reactions.
Yeah,
right?
no telling what's going to come out of
So which one of your teammates, or perhaps yourself, would make the best WWE wrestler?
Oh boy. I would have to go with Michael Ergo. He's an absolute water bug, and he's got the most energy out of anybody I've ever met. Because we practice we're at the rink at like 6:15 in the morning. We work out and skate, and there's some mornings that guys are a little tired, and he's in there just firing everybody up. So much energy, and he's just this big booming voice, and I think he would be good in WWE. I think he could put on a show for the people that they would like.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Not necessarily as like the Undertaker size person. I'm talking about the one who could put the show on the most.
He's a showman, and I think he would do it. He would do a good job.
Well, you got a big weekend coming up this weekend. So number 14 Cortland's coming to town, and then on the 15th, the next day, you got senior night. You're gonna be facing Morrisville. So any thoughts on the games coming up?
Yeah, I think at this point of the year, it's huge because everybody's competing for points. Some teams are competing for a playoff spot. Other teams are competing for seeding and home ice and regular season league championship. And the way that the SUNYAC has been this year, it seems like every weekend someone's beating somebody that maybe you might not expect. So for us, it's really, we got to dial in here. We got to play starts with 20, but we got to play a full 60, especially Friday. And then we'll worry about Saturday when Saturday comes. But for us, I think it's just back to the basics, simple, execute, and then hopefully go from there. It's for a war this weekend.
Yeah, and I love that saying, starts at 20 and it's a full 60. That's great.
Yeah,
see, you're made for TV.
Yeah, that's been a thing for us because there's games where we don't think that we play a full 60. But going in, like, starts with one shift and the next everybody has to complete their shift, and we'll worry about 20 at a time and then go from there.
Yeah, that's great. And is there anything else you'd like to add or say hi to?
I guess I just want to thank this coaching staff, Eddie, Whitey, Bobby, Grazo, Kenny, for everything that they've done for me, just as a person and then as a player. Very grateful for this experience. And looking back, it is senior night. Looking back, maybe in the moment you don't really think about it, but when it's coming down to it, you think about all the people that have kind of got you to where you were. So I thank them, and then my teammates. They've made this year an absolute blast, and hopefully we can make this season last as long as we can here, and hopefully it goes for much longer. But and then lastly, I just want to, like, we touched on my dad, but I want to thank my parents. Like, he's done for me so much with the hockey, growing up playing for him. And then more than that, though, like I'm not even sure they've missed a game in my college career. Even when I was at Holy Cross, they've been on the road. So their support, I can't thank them enough. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, well, Daniel, thank you. This has been so much fun. And like I said, I appreciate you taking the time. And, best of the luck for the rest of the season. Like I said, you guys really put it together at the right time. And we hope to see you making some noise in the postseason.
Yeah, thank you. I think we can clean some things up here and hopefully go on a run.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'm going to try to get out to the Deb to catch a game here. So
Awesome.
We'll see what we can do. So, but thank you once again. And we appreciate it, and tell everybody we said hi.
I will. Thank you.
All right, Daniel. Thanks very much. All right. That was Daniel Colabufo, and that is all the time we have. So once again, we want to thank Daniel for coming on, and we want to thank you for watching and listening, and we will see you next time on the Central New York Hockey Report podcast.